jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
So I see some of y'all already on deck, man. King Mitch on deck. What's good? Michael Johnson Boxing Talking More. What's good? Want to give a little bit of time for the room to fill out, man. This topic is strictly about what you see on the thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? It's something that has to be addressed and dealt with accordingly, because I don't want people losing their mind in desperation. You know, trying to push somebody all the way up to the top that's not going to get the shot right now, right? But I just want to break down some intricate details that goes along with how loosely boxing, you know, are able to push or move these or shift these individuals in the ranking system. And when somebody like myself say, what has he done to step in there with a fighter like Crawford? I will never accept the fact that you're just going to say that obviously he's done enough to be in his position. No, obviously he's been maneuvered and he's been pushed. He has the right connection. He has the right manager. And boxing is all about the business aspect of it. So boxers can be pushed through the ranking system at an undeniable rate. The speed is something that you didn't even think that can happen within the ranking system when it comes to Jaron Ennis. I'm just being honest. Look, I'm not hating on Jaron Ennis because he's going to be the star. He's the future of the sport. Let's not get that twisted. I'm just speaking to the voices that continue to echo the same sentiment for which Jaron Ennis should step in there with Terrence Crawford. And I'm just asking the question, like, why the big push? Who has he defeated in between time to get to that number 2 slot? How did he get there? If y'all you look, Ortiz, all he have to do is shrug his shoulders and say, no, Sam, I don't know, amigo. And y'all leave him the fuck alone. Now you go to Jaron Ennis. Now it's a whole nother story. McMillan on deck, how you feeling? Charles on deck, what's good? What's good with your WCS salute? Salute to everyone that's in the building. So my big question is, how do we solve what's going on with Jaron Ennis? Because I truly believe that there's a bit of destruction going on with his name right now in the YTC. People who are unable to redirect themselves into a whole nother avenue of a fight that he may potentially get that's much easier. He's not going to get the Terrence Crawford fight. It's not smart for business. And for as long as, you know, the general public, boxing fans, whoever you want to call them, promoters have been speaking up this fight, they're not going to get paperwork together for him to step in there with a fighter like Jaron Ennis. It makes no sense. Jaron Ennis is not a superstar yet. He's not. No matter how many thumbnails and how many people, you know, love saying his name Boots, his alias Boots with 3 or 4 or 5 O's in the middle, it's not going to give him a fight with Terrence Crawford because it's not a money fight. It's not a money fight. The money fight is Crawford Spence. The money fight is Crawford Spence. That is the money fight. So who don't understand that? That is the money fight. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Seawood on deck. Let's go. McMillan, peace and love. So let's get down to the ranking system. All right. I want to dive into the ranking system and kind of, pretty much break this down as to how Jaron Ennis has elevated himself to the slot that he's currently in, number 2. And some of the stuff that I may tell you, you might open your mouth and in awe and say, "Oh shit, I can't believe that's the way the ranking system possibly could be." So I didn't know it was moving that way. I had a little bit more faith in the ranking system. You know what I'm saying? I had a little bit more faith in the ranking system, dog. So let's hold up for a second. So I'm pretty sure there's plenty of y'all that's in the live chat that totally understands what the key terms have been that Jaron Ennis is right behind Virgil Ortiz, and he should be the next one stepping there with Terrence Crawford. That is the language. That is the damn chatter that is out there. The buzz, the buzz, the buzz. So there's been plenty of debates on several channels that if I'm over there, I always say, like, he ain't did shit. He ain't fought nobody to be in that position. He hasn't, in my opinion. So let's talk about when he initially came into the rankings. When Jaron Ennis was initially brought into the WBO rankings to begin to climb the ladder to the position he is currently at number 2 in the WBO behind Virgil Ortiz. I want to ask you all these questions. How many fights should it take for a fighter to be able to be placed in the rankings? You know what I'm saying? Let me also just address this question. I asked you how many fights, but what is the criteria for the fighters that they're fighting? These individuals just jumping or elevating themselves to be in the rankings. What's the criteria for them? Those opponents. Is there a criteria for those opponents, like a formula that if you fight this person and then you pretty much gauge his last opponent and experience that they have to pretty much supplement that formula over to the fighter that you're pushing, in this case, Jaron Ennis, to basically move up a spot in the rankings? Because the obvious equation is, right, the denominator to this is pretty much to fight somebody high up on the list. Let's just say Teofimo fought Vasyl Lomachenko. Sandor Martin fought Mikey Garcia. They're fighting people high on the dang ranking system. They're fighting fighters who are higher on the ranking system. For me, reviewing Jaron Ennis' elevation up to the number 2 spot from 15 all the way up to number 2, dose, I just don't see where that happened. So let's be clear. Jaron Ennis initially made his appearance into the ranking system November 2019. Now, I know that the ranking systems can be crazy, but if you look at the ranking systems in October 2019, they're not there. All right. So if we move out and go to November 2019, you'll see Jaron Ennis sitting at number 15. This is where we're going to start. All right. So let me share this screen right quick. And y'all bear with me, man. It's been a hectic day. I try to, get to this. That's why I'm late. Just got in. But hold on for a second. Let me share screen right quick. And y'all please drop your input in there. Let me share this screen right quick. I'm going to take this down right here. So what you see right here is, let me stroll up to the top. This is the WBO, World Boxing Organization ranking, November 2019, right? So you see who's at the top. Good old Kavalauskas. Number 2 is Jesse Vargas. Number 3 is Danny Garcia. Number 4 is Sergey Lipinets. 5, Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz now. Virgil Ortiz is number 5 at this point. And look at Custio Clayton at number 7. Michael McKinson, keep that name up there. All right. Keep that name up there. Michael McKinson, keep that in your thoughts. All right. Keep Mikey Garcia, who's sitting at number 11. All right. And you go all the way down to Jaron Ennis, who's number 15. All right. So at this point in time, at Jaron Ennis's record, at his resume right quick in his boxing schedule, if you go back to November 2019, who was he fighting? Who was Jaron Ennis fighting around anywhere close to November 2019? He didn't fight nobody in November, but he fought Daniel Fernandez, October 2019. Now we're looking at the WBO rankings in November 2019. He's ranked number 15. His previous fight was October 2019 against Daniel Fernandez. He was 12-1. 12-1. So he fought him in October, and November they say, hey, let's throw him in the rankings at 15 off Damian Fernandez. I know y'all don't know who he is, but I'm just putting his name out there. Damian Fernandez. He fought Damian Fernandez October 2019. That catapulted him into the number 15 spot. Now, his next fight was not going to be until January 2020 against Bakhtiyar Yurbov. All right. So you take from October, all right, November, December to January. Now you're saying to yourself, can't too much happen in between that time? Shit. It's getting to the holidays and shit. You know what I'm saying? We're about to go into the pandemic. Can't too much happen. So let's go up here and check some things out, right? So let's back up out of here and let's check from 15. Let's go to December, see if it sustains itself, because he got a big fight coming up in January. All right. He just fought in October. I told you he was number 15. He was number 15 on the ranking systems, the WBO, from fighting Damian Fernandez. December, Santa Claus and everybody else is handing out rankings. So he throws down 2 to Bruce Ennis, and not even I would say too much just to keep it even. 1 month from November to December, he goes from 15 to 13. From November to December, he goes from 15 to 13. I mean, when you're talking about climbing the ladder, that's a good start. That's a solid start, right? So let's get up out of here and go to 2020. And let's go to January when he fought Yurbov. See how consistent the WBO organization, the World Boxing Organization, is when it comes to this, right? Because you have individuals on here that's continued to debate and say he did enough. But when you're not boxing and you're elevating, somehow you're levitating in between time. You don't have gloves on, you're not doing anything. He fought October. In November, he was ranked 15. In December, he went from 15 to 13. This is his fight day. He's fighting Yurabov. January 2020. Jaron Ennis is number 12 now. Because he know that was an easy fight. That was an easy fight. Keep tabulations now. He's moves up 4 slots already. 15, 14, 13, 12. Already. From November to January. From November to January. Now, his fight in January 2020, his opponent's record was 14 victories, 1 defeat, and 1 draw. He stopped him in the 4th round. Your ball was down twice in the 1st round. So, in between time, his next fight isn't until September against Juan Carlos Abreu, 23, 5, and 1 at the time. You're already looking at from 15 to 14 to 13 to 12, from November 2019 to January 2020. So you tell me where you want to go. Let's go. He's ranked number 12 right now. So let's do this. Let's get up out of here and let's go to March. Let's go to March. Be patient. Be patient. Let's go to March of 2020. Let's go to March of 2020. Jaron Ennis still at 12. Consistency, right? We're just looking for consistency. He ain't fighting. He ain't fighting. So we're in March 2020. You know what I'm saying? So let's go down to, let's give or take May. Let's couple up the months for a little bit. Get up out of here. Hold on for a second. Let's go back to April. Oh, I know this is where some of the rankings don't even show up. July. That's where it was. So you go to July, right? The last time we seen him, it was 15, 14, 13, 12. He's still sitting there at 12. At 12 when it's July. Jaron Ennis' next fight is against Juan Carlos Abreu in September. And we on July, right? So let's keep it moving. Let's go to August. Let's go down to August. Now, don't be fooled yet. Don't be fooled yet. Don't be fooled. November, he was 15th. He was 15th. All right. From 15th ranking to 12th ranking, moving pretty steady, right? Now, what month are we in? Let's go back up to the top. What month are we on? He has a fight coming up. We're in the month of August. He was at number 12, but Jaron Ennis is at 11th right now. He's at 11th. When did I say his fight was? His fight with Juan Carlos Abreu is September 2020. This is the August rankings. He went from 15 to 14 to 13 to 12 to 11. From November, you're looking at yourself from November to August. November 2019 to August of 2020. He's already sitting at the 11th spot. Who can tell me how many fights did Jaron Ennis have in between time? From November, which his closest fight would be Damian Fernandez. Then he fought Yobov. That's one fight since he's been on the pound for pound list. Yobov. One fight. Hear me out now. He fought Damian Fernandez in October 2019. He's on the pound for, not pound for pound, not rankings, the WBO rankings in November 2019. In between time, he fights Urabov, January 2020. In the process of elevating ranks, they're moving him through the ranking systems quick. All the way up to August, prior to him stepping in there against Juan Carlos Abreu, he's already sitting where I just showed you. And what was that? He's sitting at number 11 before he even steps in the ring with Juan Carlos Abreu. 15th to number 11. So let's go to September, because Juan Carlos Abreu, I know y'all know who that is. You ain't a hardcore boxing head if you don't know who Juan Carlos Abreu is, a legend of the sport, right? So let's go to 2020 September. 2020. This I'm not trying to nitpick at this. I'm just, whenever I choose to do something like this, I mean, I just have to just buckle up and do it. It's not that difficult. It's just I don't want to seem like an angry bird out here on this social media shit, right? So November 2019, right? I hear the voices chattering about he's done enough to get where he's supposed to be. 15. I just took you for 15th all the way up to number 11th from November to August. November to August 2020. He was at 11. September, he has basically leapfrogged 10 to 9 in the ranking systems. Whoo, this dude is shifting gears. Like the rankings love him, like Cameron Duncan, they got that shit popping. From 15th ranking in the WBO, he moved from 15 to 11 before he even stepped into his second fight, into his second fight while being ranked in the WBO. That first fight was Urabov, and his second fight was Juan Carlos Abreu. He stopped him in the 6th round. For that, they placed him 9th in the rankings. 9th, y'all. How can you lose if you moving this fast, y'all? How can you freaking lose if you moving this fast? So next is the one and only. He has a fight in December 2020. Chris Van Herten, right? We all saw it go down. We was waiting. Oh, this is going to be a tough fight. Chris Van Herten, he's 28-2-1. This is going to be tough. Now, once again, let me refresh your memory on the numbers. November 2019, 15 to August 2020, he was 11. Then on September, he faced Juan Abreu. And for his effort, he's number 9 now. So he has 2 fights while being ranked. He goes from the bottom half to inside the top 10 in that short period of time. So he only has number 1 to 9 right now. He inside the top 10. Who did he fight to get into the top 10? Juan Carlos Abreu, 23-5-1, to get him in the top 10 of the rankings. Juan Carlos Abreu. And this is no knock on Jaron Ennis, man, because I like the dude. He's the truth, for real. Jaron Ennis is that dog. All I'm doing is providing the overlay for the media aspect of it, because I'm sick and tired of these trash-ass biased narratives that's goddamn shoe soles when it comes to the relevance of it all. It's the bottom of your shoes, goddammit. Pick the gum off that motherfucker. Y'all saying he did enough to be where he's at, and I should look at it as just that. I shouldn't dig no further down into it. I shouldn't sit up here and screw. I should just let it go. From November 2019, he was at 15. That was coming off fighting Damian Fernandez. All the way to August, having fought Urabov while active on the ranking system. He elevates all the way up to number 11 for his effort for fighting Warren Abreu. They slide him into slot number 10. I mean, number 9. So who do you think he has next? Sergey Lipinets. Sergey Lipinets. He's fighting Sergey Lipinets in April 2021. Look at the gap. Check this out. Van Heerden didn't make it out the first round. December 2020, the fight was called a no contest. Whatever. No one got credit for it. No decision. So his next fight is against Sergey Lipinets the following year in 2021. Now, granted, 2020 was the back end of the pandemic, but give it up to Jaron Ennis for being able to fight at the first semester of 2020 and the latter semester of 2020. He fought in September and he fought in December. In between, while being ranked in the WBO, he fought Yorubov and he fought Juan Carlos Abreu. All right. I'm talking about the transitions. We haven't got to Van Heerden yet when it comes to the ranking. So let's go to December. Let's go to December 2020. All right. Let's go to December 2020. Remember his last slot he was in, right? What was that last slot? What did we just leave? Y'all have to pay attention now. What did we just leave? We left September, right? So let me go back to September. Take a little flash. Take a little flash of this. All right. Just take a snapshot. Boom. Let's go back to September. Let's go back to September where we were. September 2020. So September 2020 is when he fought who? This is when he was sitting at what spot? He was sitting number 9, right? So being he was sitting at number 9, who is he fighting? Who did he fight in September? He fought Juan Carlos Abreu, right? September. So he doesn't have another fight to December, Chris Van Heerden. He's sitting at number 9 right now in the WBO rankings, people. Number 9, Nueve. His next fight is in December. It's a no decision because of headbutt. I want y'all to clearly understand how this works when it comes to this ranking system. It's according to who you're attached with. So let's go down to December to the Chris Van Heerden. Let's go to November, a month before. Because we already done seen the shift, right? We're seeing the shift in Jaron Ennis. See what they say for November. Where's he at? Oh, Jaron Ennis is number 7. But we just seen him in September. He was ranked number 9th. He was ranked number 9th. Let's go to October. Granted, he's not fighting anybody. All right. He just came off Juan Abreu. Let's go to October. Let's go to the rankings in October. So he went from 9th to number 7. Let's go back to September 2020. September 2020. Jaron Ennis right here is number 9. Come Juan Abreu, right? So he has been here then yet next, right? In December. So if we go to October, which is the one, not even look next door, bro. From 9, Jaron Ennis is already in a different resident to leapfrogged again to number 7. From 11 to 9, from 9 to 7. I can't make this up. Now he's at the back door of the top 5. What month did we say we was in there, people? My astute colleagues, we're in October. That's 1 month after him fighting Juan Carlos Abreu. 1 month. He goes from 9 to 7. So let's go all the way. Let's go back out. And we'll see a little small consistency, right? December. Now you about to get some shock to your life now. You're gonna get some shock to your life at the next information that you're about to receive. And not this one. 2020 December. He's in there with Van Heeren, the fight stop, and he's still in number 7. So the good thing about it, we get to do away with the pandemic. But one person who benefited from that goddamn pandemic year was Jaron Ennis in the ranking systems. Congratulations. Salute to you, my brother. Your people out here, random raving. They haven't even been vaccinated yet. And they sitting up here saying, hey, he needs to fight Crawford. He did everything he needed to do. He fought how many people again? Why he was ranked in the WBO? So let's go to the next year. Let's go to 2021, right? And what is his next fight? Let's just start off with knowing that he already moved up 2 more slots. Let's just say 2021. Let's go to January. Let's see if anything happened over the New Year's. Let's see if the WBO is a little bit consistent with what they got going on. All right. So Jaron Ennis, in the year before 2020, he left off at the 7th spot, ranked number 7 in WBO. His next fight, right? Because we already been through the whole deal with Chris Van Heeren. We're in 2021 right now. We're leaving the pandemic behind. We all know that was nothing to that fight. But for them to give Jaron Ennis Juan Abreu, I mean, was a freaking amazing. This man went from 15 all the way up 7 in a short period of time. That's 9 slots. From November to damn near from November 2019, and let's say to October of 2020. October of 2020. You 9 up in the game from 15 to 7. Wow. That's unbelievable. But let's keep going. We're in 2021 right now. His next opponent is the one and only Sergey Lipinets, right? Sergey Lipinets is another person that, in my opinion, fought better opposition to get his spot into the ranking system. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, just with Lamont Peterson on there alone. I'm just being honest. But Sergey Lipinets is coming up in April. So I already showed you the January time slot of the ranking system. Let's go to March. He's about to face Sergey Lipinets in April. Let's go to 1 month before March and see if there's any consistency with the WBO rankings. He's still at number 7 right here. Still number 7. Kudos. All right. So we go in here, go to April. This is his fight date with Sergey Lipinets. He goes in there and stops Sergey in the 6th round. Sergey Lipinets is 16-1-1. The only professional fighter to defeat Sergey Lipinets was at 140 Mikey Garcia. So let's stroll down here. And Jaron Ennis, look, for his efforts with Sergey Lipinets, he goes up one slot to number 6. He moves up one slot for Sergey Lipinets. Now, I'm just thinking to myself, for Sergey Lipinets, you are in a position where you're shifting, because I could have sworn I saw Sergey Lipinets ranked below him prior to. I could have sworn I did. You know what I'm saying? We're in 2021. Sergey Lipinets is about to fight. Jaron Ennis is now ranked number 6. This is April 2021. So let's go back out. Let's go to March, 1 month before. 1 month before the fight. Jaron Ennis, Sergey Lipinets. Jaron Ennis, Sergey Lipinets. This is before the fight. This is prior to the fight, y'all. This is March. They're fighting in April. They fought in April. Jaron Ennis moves up to slot number 6 in April. Let's go to May 2021. Let's go to May. All right. Y'all stay with me. Stay with me. So you see Jaron Ennis is still ranked number 6. Why? Because he don't have a fight right now. All right. Okay. Thank God he ain't moved overnight. But Jaron Ennis is number 6 from 15 to number 6. From November 2019 to April 2021. He has made some incredible transitions through the rank structure of the WBO. That is amazing. That is amazing. I would say the top-notch fighter that is on that, that climb to the top at this point in time would be 2021. Sergey Lipinets, and they only gave him one slot, people. They gave him one slot for defeating Sergey. One. But all the other times when he was stepping into the ring, before, during, after, they was just moving and grooving. Now this man is at number 6. It's getting interesting. His next fight is in October 2021. He just fought Sergey Lipinets in April 21, 16-1-1. He stopped him in the 6th round. And he's currently, at this juncture, as we look at the WBO rankings, at this juncture, y'all, this is May, 1 month after, they still have Jaron Ennis at number 6. All right. Once again, I must reiterate, he's fighting Thomas Delorme in October. He's fighting Thomas Delorme in October of 2021. This right here is 1 month after his fight with Sergey. So let's go out to July, because he's fighting Thomas Delorme what in October, right? Let's go to July. Let's see what the rankings have. Let's see what the WBO talking about. He's ranked number 6, right? So he's still ranked number 6. July has Thomas Delorme in October. Thomas Delorme is at this point in time coming off 2 defeats. All right. Let's get closer. Let's go closer. September 2021. We're on the eve of Jaron Bruce Ennis facing Thomas Delorme. Whoa, what a fight. What a fight. What a fight. So the last time we checked, it was back in July, right? Jaron Ennis, in between time, he went from number 6 to number 5. He's at number 5 right now. When was his last fight? Astute Boxing Heads in the chat. When was his last fight before this move? When was his last fight? Sergey Lipinets, right? They moved him up a slot, right? He was able to get 6, right? So he hasn't stepped in there against nobody right now. So Thomas Delorme is his next fight in October. He's coming off 2 losses. But that doesn't mean anything just yet. That doesn't have any credence just yet, because we're in September of 2021. We're 1 month out from Thomas Delorme. But somehow, some way, David Copperfield has magically moved Jaron Ennis into a levitated state into the 5th position in the ranking system of the WBO. Fifth. He didn't fight nobody in between. He was elevated. Because I was told, obviously, he's did enough to be where he's at. I'm saying to myself, like, read. Do your own brainstorming and troubleshooting. The ranking systems is so taboo, man. They move and groove how they see fit. Boxing will always be a red tape, political type of arena. Boxing will always have that. That's how they roll. That's how they move. Just as you saying, Jaron Ennis is ranked number 5th, 1 month out before facing Thomas Delorme. What points did he get in between Sergey Lipinets, the Thomas Delorme, to move him up another slide in the ranking systems, just like it's giving away Halloween candy, bro? Who did he fight? I already told you. He was placed in the rankings November 2019. He fought Yurbov. Won a brew. He's sitting at number 5 1 month before facing Thomas Delorme, y'all. Watch this. October. This is the month right here. This is the month. This is what I want you to see right here. I want to start off with Mikey Garcia sitting at number 3. You know who he got coming up, right? Because I got astute boxing heads in the live chat. You know Mikey Garcia got Sandor Martin coming up, right? Okay. Michael McKinson, inactivity. You know what I'm saying? But he still hold his spot up here, right? And of course, undefeated Jaron Ennis. The man of the hour. The one that they say who has fought the absolute beast to get where he was in the ranking system. And I'm saying not so fast. Because you're trying to throw this man face first, hands up, into the arena with Terrence Crawford. And I'm telling you, the boxing rankings doesn't justify a fighter's position to warrant stepping in there with a champion just because you say so. Just because you're unwilling to do any type of homework. This is not even as deep as I possibly could have went. So look at this now. Mikey Garcia 3, Michael McKinson, and Jaron Ennis. All right. Let me get back over here to the live chat right quick. Dwayne Mack, what's good? I'm gonna get to all that. Bruce Goes, Boxing Jazz, and more. What's good with you? Salute. Shout out to the OG Bruce Goes. Appreciate you pulling up. Let me get some of these bots out of here. Don Dada on deck, man. What's good with you, bro? Jay Ocho on deck. Boxing King Archives, what's good? WCS Michael Benson tweeted that Ortiz gave up his IBF mandatory eliminator to Joseph Parker. I don't understand the WBC why Ortiz give up another opportunity at unified titles. He might be injured. Trap Media on deck, what's good? Boots is passing the eye test, is how I see it, passing very well. Big Dog, Andrew, okay. I'm gonna get the Andrew comments. I just want to get through this last portion right here. Jaron Ennis is sitting at number 5, right? It's October. He fought Thomas Delorme. Thomas Delorme is coming off 2 defeats. Jaron Ennis gets no credit for Delorme at all. 0. Maybe Sergey, because Sergey was a top champion. He was elite champion. Like when I say elite, he was tough. He gave Mikey Garcia all he can handle. Had him boxing off the back foot, everything. Though Mikey Garcia did a beautiful parry in the 7th round and dropped Sergey. Sergey got off the canvas and still fought. But him moving into the welterweight division was okay. The biggest name on his transition was Lamont Peterson. But I have to say that's the biggest name on Jaron Ennis' climb up this ranking ladder. Now, I heard the eye test. So we're looking at the eye test. That's the same thing people say when fighters are out here stacking their record with inflation and they're fighting easy touches, but to the eye test, it looks great. They're going in there dominating, but they're fighting Macy mannequins, but they're passing the eye test. And like I said before, Jaron Ennis got skills. I'm not even gonna bullshit you, dog. But this is not something that I'm dwelling on his skills. I had to touch on this and address it because certain people are unwilling to take the mental shovel, and do a little bit of research, sustain themselves, read, and see how easy it is for a fighter to climb the ranking system. Let's get to the end of this shit so I can get to the chat. So therefore, Jaron Ennis, right? I already told you where we at right now. He gets credit 1 slot. He received the credit. Look, he received the credit from 7 to 6. Coming off Sergey Lipinets, y'all. He steps in there with Thomas Delorme. They move him up to 5. They telling everybody else, get the fuck away from him. Stephanie, let's go, man. Get out of here. Aduk Karoff, get out of here. David Avanesian, get out of here, bro. Let's pay attention to Mikey Garcia, number 3, Michael Kenson, number 4, and Jaron Ennis, number 5. Now, the rest is what it is. We have to wait on Sandor Martin and Mikey Garcia. So check this out. Let me get back over here. Let me get up out of here. We are October. Let me let y'all see this. October 2021, right? Let me back up out of this right here. And let's go to November. Let's go to November. Let's see what happens. Because he fought Thomas Delorme in October, right? All right. Ta-da! 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 I told you it was a grand finale. Ta-da! He fought Thomas Delorme, coming off 2 losses. They move him up a slot to number 5. In the process, as you're looking at this, right? Mikey Garcia, who was sitting at number 3, Sandor Martin defeats him. They put Sandor Martin at 4. Mike McKinson, who was sitting at 4, they slide him to 3. Jaron Ennis, who was at 5, they slide him all the way up to 2. Without any fight. No fight of relevance. You're trying to tell me that he fought? You're trying to tell me he fought? That's what you're trying to tell me? He fought Thomas Delorme in October 2021? And the next month after, he fought him October 30th. In November, he's number 2? Sandor Martin arguably fought the better opposition that was on the pound-for-pound list, Mikey Garcia, who was sitting at 3. But they halt Sandor Martin with the Heisman, put him at 4, stop him at 4. They take McKinson at 4, slide him to 3, y'all. Jaron put in slot number 2. And you're trying to tell me this ain't all about money and who you know and the connect, the plug. He went from 5 Nah, 4, not 3. 2. Yeah, I like this right here. I like this suite. From 15 all the way to the second ranking position of the WBO. And you know what? November is a good month for Jaron Ennis. A damn good month. Because when he dropped into the rankings in November of 2019, he had a hell of a run. He had a hell of a run. Have you ever seen somebody climb a ladder with skates on? That was a hell of a run for who he fought in between time to get to this position of number 2. He come off a fight. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm serious. Listen to me. I'm genuine about it. I'm sincere about what I'm saying. He fought Thomas Delorme coming off 2 losses. How can he be accredited with a move like this? I don't give a damn if Mikey lost. I don't give a fuck about that. But the person who defeated Mikey is 2 slots below Jaron Ennis, who has no Mikey on his motherfucking resume. The only one that comes close to Mikey would be who? Sergey Lipinets. Even with credentials, he don't come close to Mikey Garcia. They just a common opponent. So therefore, Sandor Martin has a common opponent of who? Sergey Lipinets. Both Jaron Ennis and Sandor Martin is both on the WBO rankings. It's just unfortunate for Jaron Ennis, which ended up being a fortune. He beat Sergey Lipinets, who was a champion previously at 140, and he gets the elevated. He gets the elevated portion of it. Because Mikey Garcia, though I complain about it and criticize it a lot, he did step up to face Errol Spence in his first fight at 147. So when you talk about the stock, the Wall Street into Sandor Martin's challenge and his feat and him achieving that victory stands out much more than Jaron Ennis. But when it comes to names, the name Boots is ringing louder than Sandor Martin. I'm not saying Sandor the Spaniard won't get his opportunity. I'm just saying, have you ever seen someone climb a ladder with skates on? From 15 November, from the 15th slot November 2019 to November 2021. You do the math, y'all. How many slots that is? How many positions that is? Coming off a Thomas Delorme win in the first round, he goes from 5th to 2nd. 5th to 2nd, y'all. This shit is unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. You look at some of the channels pushing the loudest for Crawford to fight Boots, and most don't have any content on Ennis before he fought Delorme. Man, Andrew, dog, how, bro? Hold up. Let me stop sharing right quick. Hold up. Let me stop sharing. I can always go back, but I want y'all to see something right quick. I just want to share something with you right quick, because Andrew made a very good point about they don't have no information on Boots, right? They busy trying to push this man in the face of Terrence Crawford for a fight that they aren't sure. They're not even realizing that there's a huge topic. There's a heavy topic that basically mongers around in the social media, YTC social media, and that's Canelo and Floyd Mayweather. So many people talk about this shit all the time. But check this out, though. Check this out. This is Thomas Delorme. 25 victories, 6 defeats, 3 he's been knocked out, and 1 draw. 16 knockouts, right? This is the guy that last stepped in the ring with Jaron Ennis. Prior to Jaron Ennis being in the 5th rank of the WBO standings and moving up 4, 3 to slot number 2. This is his opposition that he fought last. We're talking about Thomas Delorme. He lost to UD 12 to Jamal James in August 2020. And then he fought Stanthionis in April 2021, lost to UD. And when you know who gets him at the end of 2021, Jaron Ennis. At the time, 27-0, where he picked up his 28th professional victory. The man was coming off 2 defeats. What was his ranking at the time in the WBO? He wasn't even nowhere close. You couldn't even put a goddamn radar tracker on him. They couldn't find him. But he go from 5th to 2nd. It doesn't make any sense. To those of you that's talking about, obviously he did what he enough to be with. No, motherfucker, what you talking about? You need to increase your literacy by studying first. You just like having dang conversations. Some of y'all dudes out here, y'all just like conversating. You have to just do a little bit of research to try to find out, is there merit in what someone's saying on the panel? And you never hear me in the damn chat just going and tag teaming with somebody else just because it's fun to criticize somebody that you don't agree with, just because you respect the host. But I'm saying, like, look at this shit though. Thomas Delorme was coming off 2 defeats, but yet and still, we have panels pushing boots. Is no excuse on why he cannot be next. It doesn't make any sense to me at all, bro. I got no issue with people starting to get the program when it comes to Ennis. But like I've stated before, it's funny hearing it come from some people. It's hilarious hearing it come from a lot of people. I'm talking about people who know the sport of boxing. But look, you can know a lot in life, right? You can totally understand it and get it right. Because adults, we've passed the critical period of one only for arrow sprints. October 2021 now. Jaron Ennis was sitting at number 5. Now, who did he fight October 2021? Who did he fight? Jaron Ennis fought Thomas Delorme October 2021. Let me stroll back up to the top. October 2021, the WBO, World Boxing Organization ranking. Jaron Ennis was ranked 5th behind Michael McKinson, Mikey Garcia. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm not mentioning Sean Porter, I don't want to then bring back old scar tissue. You know what I'm saying? Because Ben Israel, he might run into traffic or something. Because we all seen what Terrence Crawford did to Sean Porter in November 2021. We all seen what happened, y'all. We all witnessed the massacre. So when it comes to Sean Porter, they throwing him out the rankings because, you know, him retiring. And then it comes down to 2 big names, Mikey Garcia and Michael McKinson. Why they're big is because they are ranked ahead of Jaron Ennis right here. Jaron Ennis is ranked number 5, October 2021. You back up out of this, and go to November, what do you see, people? You see absolute magic. You see magic. You see Jaron Ennis at 2. Sandy Martin stops at 4 when Mikey Garcia was right here at 3. But they gave that to Michael McKenzie. They keep Sandy Martin a step away. Unbelievable. Look at Mikey Garcia down here. Look at Mikey Garcia. They throw him all the way down to 12. So I'm curious to why Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, who kept losing, they didn't get tossed all the way down, in the WBC rankings like that. I'm just saying, Jaron Ennis moves up 3 slots, rather. He goes 4, 3, and the 2. Move up 3 slots. Unbelievable. And they say he's done enough to be in that position. Jaron Ennis has done enough. As a matter of fact, let me go one more time and show the people. Let me go one more time, share screen. Because I want people to understand this, though. Okay? This is Jaron Ennis's resume, right? This is his boxing resume. With that boxing resume, let's look at some stuff. All right? Right here will be his first fight when he's ranked. He was ranked after this fight with Daniel Fernandez, 12-1-0. He was ranked November, number 15 in the WBO rankings. His first fight, while ranked, was against Bakhtiar Yerbov, who was 14-1-1. All right? Then he would go on while transitioning, shifting, swaying, ranking positions. He fight Juan Carlos Abreu in September 2020. Steadily moving up the ladder. He goes in there against Chris Van Heerden, and you know what happened there. They kind of kept a little bit sustainment, but goddamn, they moved him up a slot heading to the Sergey fight. They moved him up a slot after the Sergey fight. Then when it got close to the Thomas Delorme fight, they moved him up again. So he was at 7. He moved to 6. And then he moves to 5th. Stepping in there with the Thomas Delorme fight. But yet, that was that October 2021. In November, he moves from 5th to 2nd. He moves from number 5 to number 2. All off Thomas Delorme, who is 25-1-1. He stopped him in the first round, y'all. This is a travesty. That's a travesty. I don't want to hear shit off no motherfucking panels. The next time I'm in a live chat about shit when it comes to, hey, he did enough to be there. No, it's total other bullshit. That's what it is. It's boxing bullshit. Bubblegum off the back of the toilet bullshit. Hey, shout out to the hottest chat in the MFN gang. What's good? I had to go back in the archives, right, and pull that up. And look, it's too many of y'all whining in the DMs about the same shit y'all was doing to Crawford when he was facing Spence. The reason why I brought that up because I did that live way long before his destruction, before his demise. I did that live stream and just simply gave a breakdown. And I'm just saying, people really don't be diving into this shit. Like, if you can go in the archives and pull out something relevant way before it actually became relevant,
Like I did a stream on his rankings way before this shit happened. And you know, my overall intention is based off what I forecasted, what I've seen with him. I just didn't see it, right? But more so now, the player is pretty much saying, when I hear Jaron Ennis talking about he couldn't get up for low tier competition, how? You have an immune disorder now? Because you have a plethora of low level competition that got you ranked and that you moved through the rankings and you had no problem going in there stopping Thomas Delorme. You know what I'm saying? You had no problems going in there getting those little early knockouts, low level competition. So you saying your appetite isn't up to par with the low tier opposition? Because that's what you fought moving up the ladder of the ranking systems. And then that was a WBO, and then you switched over to the IBF. There's been so many ill-advised decisions by him because he moved over to the IBF because him and his team believe that Errol Spence was going to win. And he would be sitting right there just like Karan Chukazian. For real. Team Ennis believe them switching over to the IBF, they would be next in line for Errol Spence as a mandatory. Not understanding that there's a rematch clause in the contract between Spence and Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Or did they even care about that? He had Bud at the WBO. He had Spence at the IBF. Either way it goes, he chose the IBF route because a lot of people believe, you know, that was Errol Spence fans that he was going to win. But my whole point for archiving that particular live is because he's now talking about he can't get up for low tier opposition. It's hard to get up. Well, you had no problem getting up for low tier opposition when you was climbing the rankings to get into that position to strip the belt from freaking Crawford. That's all I'm saying. It's a sham at the end of the day. And you know what? Dumping all this, you know, in your lap there, Ennis, is not anything that's deal with maliciousness. It's just the fact that I did that live way long ago. Call it what you want. That's just something. You're the only fighter that I ever did a live like that from when you entered the rankings and your elevation all the way through the rankings up to your position. It's something else going on with how you're traveling and 147 pounds. They easily push you through the ranking systems up to that point for you to strip the belt. And you're talking about there's nothing you can do. You couldn't say yes or no. Yes, you could have, because it failed that Errol Spence lost to Crawford. And then you sat there easily taking that IBF strap. Easily, you sat there taking the IBF strap that you know you didn't earn. Easily, big dog. Easily, you took that strap. So you can't say that you couldn't say yes or no. That was once Spence fell out and he lost. Y'all probably had a little sidebar conversation then, say, hey, don't worry about it. We'll still get the belt. Your team can come on here and say that's not the way you really wanted it. But when you got it, y'all was over there playing around talking about, hey, he got your belt now, come get it. Man, come on, this ain't freeze tag, bro. You ain't talking to little kids that's just understanding what middle school's about. You're the only fighter that I ever did that alive on dealing with the rankings and how they move through the rankings. You. And when I initially did it, all I was doing is looking at what I seen and what I seen on the forecast. It don't matter what I seen. It's that it's playing out right here. Think about it. Look at the date on the live stream. Look at it. He's the only fighter in my archives that I ever did that type of live stream on going through the rankings. And look where he's at right now. I'm telling you. You can't make it up if it's right there in front of your face. It's facts, bro. I don't dislike. He's the only fighter that I ever did that live stream like that in that format of him coming into the rankings. And his demise from the way he went about that, just being moved and groove. You know what I'm saying? Listen to the record play all up to that point where they made a guess and they guessed wrong from the WBO to the IBF. Boom, crashed and burned on that, and then sat there all nice and patient, and then turned around and snatched the belt from Crawford. I mean, what do you want? He freaking was in the ring and earned it, and you was out the ring and you received it. And since then, you haven't been able to prove to the people. And I know you listen to what I say because you said in the video that what was his words exactly? He said not just that he mentioned that he couldn't say yes or no, but he said what's the point that he made with Crawford? Let me think for a second. He said he couldn't say yes or no. Then, man, it just slipped my mind when I was about to mention it. Well, anyway, it'll come back to me in the rubble. But he pretty much aligned himself as if he was going to be next sooner or later. And he was next. He was able to get the belt. And he stuck by the belt. So when it came through for him proving himself on how he got the belt, he hasn't even been able to do that yet with his performances. You know what I'm saying? And what makes it so bad, it's just been bad luck, bro. And don't forget that I told you all months ago, right? Weeks ago, rather, that Jaron Ennis should vacate the IBF title. He shouldn't go for undisputed. It's not the fact that he's not one of my favorite fighters, or I'm not a fan really. It's the fact that I believe that at 27 years of age and him being 33 victories in the game, time is ticking for him to establish legacy. You have so many other fighters, so many other fans that want to talk about legacy, but they have a fighter right here in Boots who should just abandon. They was up here talking about he was the boogeyman. He was a big dude, he's a big fighter for 147. He's this, and this. But he's staying around a division because, in my opinion, I believe there's extreme optimism in him being successful at 154 because you have some straight killers up there. You know what I'm saying? You have 154 is super loaded right now. I'm talking about dump truck loaded with names up there at 154. Just because you don't really see it and everybody's just tussling right now, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. But they have some names up there where it's gonna be tough for Ennis to go up there and say he want to be undisputed. So look, I digest this, right? And I say to myself, okay, you was clout chasing Crawford's name so many times. Y'all said that y'all, Crawford ducked y'all when it was the freaking BLK Prime shit. That's what they said. Crawford ducked him, y'all. Crawford ducked him. And then you hear Steven Espinosa come out and say that he was with Showtime. And Bozy come up there and say, we're not signing Showtime, but we just show loyalty to him. So the fight was never gonna happen. It's just excuses, lies over and over again, man. I can just flip the pages through this shit like a book. You becoming a special fighter for the wrong reasons, Ennis. You may not think too much of it, or anybody around you, that I did one live stream back in the day of the ranking system. I never did it on another fighter. I did it on him because it was just something strange about this whole situation, how they was hyping them up. And I'm like, I really don't see what they're looking at. But I guess I just went on a research, and I was looking and I watching, looking and watching, you know what I'm saying? Reading and watching. And I just didn't see what the hype was about. The eye test, to be honest, the eye test to me, I didn't see him with the eye test because he ain't fought nobody. So I couldn't place his eye test evaluation on the highest grading scale because he just didn't have the competition across the ring that was a 50-50 fight for him. Now you have 33 fights in the game. And though the numbers look good on the green side of your resume, once you start to filter down and check out the actual opposition to your portfolio, it ain't jiving, bro. It ain't jiving. And the situation with Crawford, now, Crawford is, people are trying to, people are going to start asking Crawford again about Jaron Ennis. They're not really hyped up and throwing Ennis's name out there like they was previously when they knew he was straight up clout chasing, and they was too. They were saying he's ducking Boots. And now you've seen Boots' performance with Avanesian and Chukazgan in the rematch. They're not doing that anymore. And then, Ennis is putting it out there that the competition, it's hard for him to get up for low tier competition, but he had no problem getting to 33 victories with low tier competition. Look at his resume. All of his freaking entrees that he had was low tier opposition. Besides Sergey Lipinets, bro. Don't throw Cassio Clay name in there because he was undefeated. I don't want to hear that shit. Sergey Lipinets had fought Mikey Garcia at 140, yes. You know what I'm saying? If you want to throw Sergey in there that had several fights at 147 prior to Ennis stepping in the ring with him. But let's just say we subtract 1 from 33, which gives us 32. 32 of who? And now you're going to say, based off your resume and how acerbic they look, the bad tasting they left in the hardcore boxing fans, that now all of a sudden those same taste buds that got you through the rankings, you're tired of it. You don't have a taste for it no more. It doesn't take what that saying was. It doesn't tip your what's that it doesn't get you motivated. I mean, you act like you fought 33 killers and the pool has all but drained the pool. You know what I'm saying? The pool of fighters have all but drained the water, and there's nothing left in the kiddie pool to dangle your toes in. Now what's left is you jump into the deep end. You jump into the deep end. The kiddie pool is done. They closed it down. Now you got to go over here where it starts at 4 feet all the way to 12. Now you got to go play in the adult pool. And it's not very known that sharks swim around in community pools. But in your case, in this scenario, yes, you have some sharks for you at 154. Now, it's December 8th, 2024. Mark my word on this, y'all. Ennis will not unify 147 pounds for undisputed. Look, do you understand the similarities? Which is wild. It's just unbelievable how he's trying to mimic Errol Spence. Check this out. Errol Spence was known as a 147 pounder, right? He did put in all that work. You know what I'm saying? Spence put in all that work. What was the first title that Spence got? IBF, right? He fought Kell Brook, right? In Kell Brook's backyard, right? And then he picked up the WBC, right? And then he picked up the WBA, and then he attempted to unify. What was being said? Crawford hit it on the head with his prognosticated forecast. Commend you, Crawford, for, oh my God, you want to talk about a boxing in that moment, a boxing Nostradamus? Crawford said, when I beat him, they're going to say he was weight drained. He stayed in the division too long. What do you see going on with Dane Ennis right now? He's staying in the division too damn long. And in my opinion, the reason why he cannot power through to 12 rounds is because the weight cut isn't as healthy as it should be. So he can't keep on the gas. He can't power through his opponents. He can only shoe shine. He can only stunt and take a snapshot of his work every now and then, so often through the rounds. But he can't give you that same performance value. Because if you look at the low tier opposition while he was going up through the rankings, he didn't have to do all that. He didn't have to really train for any. I'm like, they was low tier opposition. They weren't supposed to be in here. I'm thinking he got a sweet tooth for low tier opposition. Real talk. And it's just coming off to me that you have a sweet tooth for low tier opposition. Because Philly fans couldn't get you up. Now all of a sudden, you're getting complacent with low tier opposition. So much to the point where you're saying that, hey, I'm going to put the blame on Koran Chukaskin being a little bit better than I thought in the rematch. Because if you look at it, y'all, how many low tier opposition fighters have Boots fought coming up through the rankings? I'll wait. It's not like Israel Vasquez, who just passed. Shout out to the Warrior. He had Rafael Marquez. They fought several times. Canelo Alvarez, Triple G, several times. We don't have, fighters that go out here and fight 3 to 4 times the same opponent anymore. We don't have that. It's almost like fighters just don't want to provide the opportunity. We don't have the Deontay Wilders and Tyson Furies. You know what I'm saying? Just fighting multiple times. We're about to get the rematch with Fury and Usyk, but we're talking about 2 to 3 times. We don't see that hardly anymore. So this was the first time that Ennis fought a rematch. And it was with an opponent who pretty much peeled the envelope back. He kind of opened the envelope to expose what we're seeing right here, these flaws, these discrepancies from a fighter like Ennis, who passed the eye test, but he can't pass the examination. And because he can't pass the examination, this is what he give you. This is the look that a lot of his boxing fans is giving him. They're giving him the smug face. This is how Ennis fans is looking at him in the parking lot. They drove by. They knew he was over there getting the interview, but they was in their car giving him the smug face. For real. They giving him the Ennis the Menace smug face. Because you're trying to convince the people that you can't get up. It's hard to get up for low tier opposition. But if you go in his resume and go into when he was in the rankings and he's still in the division, now he's a champion though. He had no problem digesting that low tier opposition. He scooped them up like they was hors d'oeuvres, yo. Shrimp scampi. No, not shrimp scampi. Shrimp cocktail. He was taking a shrimp off the glass. It was shrimp cocktail all day as he was moving up through the rankings of the WBO. And then you get up to a point and you say to yourself, Michael McKinson, Sandor Martin was ahead of you, and you beat what? I even hate to say his name. Thomas Delorme coming off 2 losses, and just off a fighter who at that point in time had a common opponent. He had a common opponent, Crawford, but Crawford fought him when he was at his best. You know what I'm saying? You fight Thomas Delorme in that point of his career, 2 straight losses, and you stop him in 1 round, and they move you all the way up to number 2. Come on, bro. That doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make a lot of sense to many. But at this point right here, do you really want to go back in there? Do you want to go and take a fight with Crawford? I mean, because peep this out. Let me finish what I was saying about him and Spence. Jaron is pretty much doing the same thing as Errol Spence did. Errol picked up the IBF title first, and then he stayed in there. Now, of course, he went through some other he ended up encountering some obstacles, right? And that's not part of my story, but I'm speaking about him staying in the division too damn long. You're gonna stay into the division until you're 30 years of age, trying to prove to the people. You think you're gonna prove to the people you're gonna get 3 straight unification bouts. This is, look, hear me out when I tell you this shit right here, yo. Ennis is trying to convince his boxing fans that he's gonna get 3 straight title shots. When this is a person like the Virgil Ortiz fight because he said he was undecided. You was unsure, lacking motivation. So you're gonna get, you're trying to convince us you're gonna be able to do something that Spence wasn't able to do. Even Spence coming back, he fought Mikey Garcia. Well, you're trying to say you're gonna have a unification bout next year, and then after that, you're gonna have another unification bout and another unification bout. So in between time, those champions are not gonna face nobody except Jaron Ennis. So you're trying to say the last pick is just gonna wait for you? They're gonna wait for Ennis for the phone to ring and say, "Hey, it's you're up. You're up. You're next to face Ennis." And this is going to be for the undisputed. It's finally here. 2027 is finally here. Now we have put another clause in the contract. If Ennis every pound Ennis don't make weight, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be $500,000. Yes, and we have that in writing because he's been having problems making weight. 27 years of age. And he still wants to attempt to make 147 pounds in 2025, in 26. And the reason why I find it very much a priority not to waste for Ennis not to waste y'all time, or the fans that decide to have their time wasted, is it's going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to step in the ring and defend your titles because you miss weight. And if you're able to make weight for the next 2 years at 147 pounds, it's going to continue to get tougher and tougher. You know why? Because obviously he loves to eat. He's human, right? He's human. He loves to eat. He's growing. He's getting older. So as long as he's been in 147 pounds, just like Spence, it's going to get to a point where he's going to feel weight drain. He's not going to have the energy to when he's stepping in there with so-called the tougher competition. And then it's not guaranteed that the champions that you see lined up from the WBO, WBA, and the WBC will remain champions. There might be new faces that's coming in there because they're going to continue to fight too. So you're going to risk legacy by being a fighter with 33 victories to say, I'm just going to stay at 147 to become undisputed. You don't have to do that. It makes no sense at all for Ennis to say he wants to stay at 147 to unify. Makes zero sense, bro. You've been at that division for a long time, and you want to stay there to prove what? You're going to put all your eggs in the basket, struggling to make 147, just to say you was undisputed in one division. Guess what? Devin Haney already did that. He already did that. I mean, what praise? Who are you waiting to be exalted from? Haney already did that. at 135. Josh Taylor already did it at 140. Bud already did it at 47. Jermell Charlo did it at 54. Canelo 68. Artur Beterbiev at 75. Usyk at heavyweight. It's already been undisputed champion. So what are you waiting for? Once you get undisputed, you believe it's going to be a grand introduction. You're not Crawford. You're not going to move up to 54 and say, I want a title shot because I'm undisputed at 47. He moved up to 54 undefeated. He moved up to 47 undefeated. You have shown that you're not cut from that cloth. You've shown that you're not cut from the same cloth. Why? Because you have said that, hey, I'm undecided. Your people saying you want to eat, you want to be a civilian. I've never seen Crawford say that. But out of the kindness of Crawford's heart, it seems like he's coming back around to actually give you an opportunity, being that he sees, you out here crashing out. It seems like Crawford is getting older and more compassionate for Ennis. That's what I see, y'all. It seems like he's getting more compassionate. Now he's talking, hey, I'll give him a shot. I've been down where he's at, where the people just wasn't showing you that light of love that you needed to shine on you. I understand where he's at right now. But somebody need to tell him straight up, if he's thinking about staying at 147 for another 3 years in hope of getting those title shots. And look, check this out, y'all. We're talking, like I mentioned before, all of the belts are itemized in each division. There's no one champion that has more than one belt in his possession right now. If one of those champions had 2 belts, and Ennis was IBF and he'll fight for the other title, whatever, and then you have more so like a Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor type of clash, cool. What about Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford? Errol Spence had 3, Crawford 1. You know what I'm saying? Mal Charlo, Jason Rosario had a couple, and then Jermell Charlo had the WBC. So he went there and fought Jason Rosario, got that out the way, and then closed it out with Brian Castano. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. Dmitry Bivol had the WBA, and Artur Beterbiev had the other 3. It's on the wall, big dog. I'm telling you, if y'all will listen, if y'all get some education about yourself and stop thinking I'm just hating, it's the writing is on the freaking wall. Of all these undisputed titles, even Devin Haney fought George Kambosos, and he had all the belts except Devin Haney's WBC. You, in this era, if you heard what I just said about 35, 40, 47, 54, 68, 75, you will know that you cannot place yourself at the start like you Errol Spence getting that IBF from Kell Brook. That's not the case, bro. That's not the case. I don't want you to think that I'm about to go on the same run Errol Spence did. I'm gonna fight for my next belt, and then the next belt, and then I'm gonna finally come around. Where's Errol Spence after waiting that long there, Ennis? Where's he at? He waited all that time and came in there and got blitzed. You have to go to each division and hope that those promotions, I don't know if you're paying attention, and somebody over there in Philly should tell him, Gilly Wallow, somebody, it's not a good idea at this stage in his career to try to emulate picking up each individual strap, knowing that you're not going to get that in recession. You're not going to get each championship in recession to say you're going to be undisputed. That's going to burn you the fuck out because you have to make weight at 147 and your performance is not going to lead up, and you might end up taking your first L at 147 because you're not Crawford, bro. I just want you all over there to learn a lesson that you shouldn't sit up here and think everything's for granted by clout chasing a fighter's actions. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't cut from that cloth, you're clout chasing a fighter's actions. And I know Bud made it look easy in a lot of ways, but you're finding out that you can't even get up for low tier opposition. Look, I never heard Bud say some shit like that. I never heard him. Look, Ennis, they was calling his whole 147-pound resume BS. So they was pretty much saying, who is that? He ain't fought nobody. Bozy Ennis said, hey, Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody. So they was considering Crawford's competition at 47 to be low tier, right? There, Ennis, you remember your dad saying that? So Crawford went in there and made them look like they wasn't nobody. They say he ain't fought nobody. I just made them look like nobody. But I don't know if you've seen this before, but you ain't making them look like nobody. The people saying your resume, you ain't fought nobody. You can't get on a song and say, they say ain't fought nobody. I just made them look like nobody. It ain't the same, big dog. That's all I'm saying. It ain't the same. They was up there, taking shots, Crawford resume, and they said his opposition wasn't nobody, but he stopped them all. He stopped them all from Jeff Horn all the way to freaking Sean Porter. He stopped them all. But you go in here versus a fighter that hasn't been world champion yet, and you say you just can't get up for low tier opposition. But that's what y'all was calling Crawford. Y'all was calling his competition low tier. Derrick James calling his competition low tier opposition. But he was going in there swiping them. But you was steadily in there trying to put the pen in and trying to get credit. Damn, what's my pen number? Damn, I want to charge this to the game, but can't. God damn. What's my pen number again? You was trying to charge it to the game, bro. It's just been an ominous road with this dude, real talk. And I'm not saying in a malicious way. It's just an ominous road. All how he came up through the rankings. You know what I'm saying? How he just sat there and they guessed wrong. They went from Crawford, they ducked Crawford from WBO to IBF, and then Crawford ended up beating Spence. Then Spence didn't even have all his titles a good 120 days before Team Ennis, who's in the same position as a Chukazagan, right? He's freaking, set for the mandatory. They send a dead end letter and they get the belt. With that belt, none of his performances. He signed with Matchroom, and that was the highlight. That was his highlight right there. That was his highlight. They put him all over this, that, and that. I'm gonna step on him. It's over. I get the belt. You knew that shit was gonna come back to hunt you, big dog. You knew it was gonna come back, and it did. You fought Avanesian after y'all sit up there and dog Crawford out for taking that December fight, and a fighter that wasn't even in your camp. Y'all was so heavy on Errol Spence, y'all went over there and dogged out David Avanesian. And Bozy said that's what he was supposed to do. Who was he? He wasn't nobody. But Ennis couldn't even get him up out of there. And then the same fight that really exposed you, Chukazagan, has played an intricate part in your career. You was on the Tank undercard and you couldn't get Chukazagan out of there. And what would you say? I wasn't having fun in there. I wasn't having fun. I just need to have fun. I wasn't having fun in there. Okay. I wasn't having fun. That's what he said. He goes in there with Avanesian in a fight in Philly, the first of the Wells Fargo Center. You have all the red carpet you can ask for, big dog. All the red carpet, youngin. All the red carpet. You have the hometown fan. You say you don't have to get up and travel. You get home cooked meals. Some's coming off as spoiled. You know what I'm saying? You go in there and you couldn't get him. You saying, oh, I didn't have fun in there. This, that, and the other, and this, and this, and all that. And then, okay, all of a sudden, Chukazagan is back in the picture. You know what I'm saying? You lead the fans on a wild goose chase with you and your people, Eddie Hearn and them, to attempt to try to act like, you know, you wanted to make the Brian Norman fight, but the offers that you was offering him was much lower than Barrios and Stanthionis. Man, come on, bro. I mean, this storybooks never end. You writing chapters in that book that's not in a good light. Then you turn around, face Chukazagan, and you say, maybe I should go to 54. You know, I'm 27 years of age. You know, I can't. It's difficult training for low tier. So the Philly fans don't mean shit when it comes to boxing. And the Philly fans, y'all should understand this. You all don't get Ennis motivated because he ain't about the fans. Ennis is about home cooked meals. Standing in that same gym, he's gonna be the gym legend. When he get my age, he gonna be the gym legend that talked about how he was world champion back in the day if he don't change his course of action. That's what Ennis is gonna be. If he don't change his course of action, if he don't perk up, get some damn motivation in his body, and stop making excuses and train. Maybe you don't need 3 times a day. They say you're a gym rat. Maybe you should understand that. What purpose is it, Ennis, for you to train 3 times a day in between fight camp, and obviously you weighing in the 150s or 160s and you feel good about that shit, but damn, you put in all that work, and when it comes time for you to cut weight, you feeling miserable. What is the purpose to cancel out the hard work of going in there, being a world champion? You dedicated to the gym but not the ring? Somehow that's confusing to a lot of people. You dedicated to the sparring sessions and training in the gym. Long as you know, look, you have the answer right there in front of you, Ennis. If you're going 3 days, 3 times a day, and they saying you're a workhorse, yeah, a lot of da, right? And you feel good, but when you cut weight and you're canceling out, maximizing your potential by being in a weight class that's too low for you right now, and you want to continue to go in there and have half-ass performances where you're not shining to the potential that they stamp you with. And what is that doing? What's the purpose of that, man? It doesn't put you in a great light, big dog. If you would just listen to wisdom, because obviously you don't have too many people around you that's providing it for you. All this sparring, braggadocious, bragging rights and all that's over, bro. You are in a gym at a higher weight and you feel good. That would tell you need to move up to 54 or 60. Period. Anybody can feel good in between fights. You don't have a fight coming up and you weighing more than what you are on fight week. Spence. You have to cut weight, bro. What are you expecting to happen? To brag about going to the gym 3 times a day and people always saying, oh, you're gym right, stay in the gym. But its performances are mediocre, subpar, marginal. But y'all want to brag about a fighter being in the gym, but you don't want to correct what really is going to get him paid. You don't want to correct what's really going to get him paid. What's going to get him paid is going in there performing, just like the fighter that he clout chased, Crawford. Going in there, maximizing your potential and showing out against top level opposition. That's what's going to get you paid. If you don't say you give a damn about the fans, then how are you going to be on a pay-per-view? You think it's just going to be Turkey a la Sheik? You think this is the impression I get with Ennis. He signed with Eddie Hearns. His only way to even get a paycheck that's tasteful is to be at the mercy of staying at Matchroom. Real talk. You stay in the match room in hope of getting a big name fight. But one thing about Turkey, hey, Turkey Al Sheik wants you in there with some tough opposition. And already he's gave you that phone call. And one thing I know about them cats giving you that phone call and you say you weren't ready, they're going to remember that shit. Oh, yeah, they're going to remember that. And what you're doing is basically diminishing any type of leverage that you think you might have in negotiation. You're a champion to know leverage advantage. And that's what I talked about. That was a perfect opportunity for you to seize the mother effing moment. Go in there, fight Virgil Ortiz, knowing that you had a belt to come back to. That's all you had to do. That was for the interim. You wasn't even fighting Bakaram. You wasn't even fighting Bakaram for the IBF. You was fighting for an interim, which you could have dropped back down there and continue your quest for undisputed if you selected to. I'm not going to stay too long on this. You know what I'm saying? The people get the understanding. And y'all hear what I'm talking about. Ennis is trying to emulate a story that has already been emulated in this era. Why follow a person footsteps when at the end they were stuck in quicksand? Why do it? Why stay at 147 pounds when you see boxers moving? You see fighters moving right now, dog. You see fighters moving. Multiple divisions already. You see fighters moving, man. And you think stand at 147 to put it out there because undisputed don't sound good until you look at it and people just look, they frame it, right? They do a mental framing and they say, That's if they're not a casual. They do mental framing and recall, boom, 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 transmit that and say, okay. And then they just do a freaking projected schedule on how you plan on unifying the 147-pound division. They look at your age, they look at your, how you've been performing, they look at your resume, they look at, how boxing is going, how, what's the projected forecast on how long it's going to take you, what is the itinerary looking like? You know what I'm saying? How quick can you get these unification bouts out the way? So age don't stop, right? So a year after year, 25 is going to be on deck. You're going to be what? 28. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be 28. But yet you still a big fight, big frame fighter fighting 147. You already shown signs of failure mentally because you said maybe I should go to 154. I'm 27 years old. You try to throw the compassion flag out there. That to me tells that you just don't know what's going on. You refuse to accept what's right there in front of you. Your body's not performing the way you want it to, but yet mentally you might be a little fearful going up to that goddamn that 154 where it had all them open cages. You know what I'm saying? That Serengeti that's up there. I think you might be a little fearful understanding the type of predators you're going to have to deal with out there, bro. I mean, you would just shock some people if you just made a call out. Hey, I want to fight Bakaram. I mean, Crawford implemented his WBO. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. He said, all right, I want to go. I want to fight so-and-so. After I beat Spence, I want to go up to 154 and beat Charlo. He put it out there. But you've been chasing you've been at the same division chasing a fighter that's leaving the division. It don't make any sense to me. You want to clout chase a fighter and keep him weight drained out of the division after he done white glove the community. You know what I'm saying? He's collected all the belts. And now that you've taken it via administrative logistics, you want him to come back down and give you attention. You want him to give you attention. Shout out to Toby Bartlett, Mr. International in the building. What's good with it, Toby? CJ Rich in the building. What's good? Big Blunts of Boxing in the building. I see you. What's good? Band on deck. Tori on deck. Arnold Brown on deck. I wanted to shout out Christopher White. Shout out to you, Christopher, for that donation the other day. I much appreciate it, my brother. He said, duck, duck, boots. 24K on deck. What's good? I appreciate that, man. You know, it's difficult to talk to the youngins, you know, when you don't really have no ulterior motive. I have no reason to have an agenda just because they thought he was the next Errol Spence or whatever. That's not why I'm talking about it. I seen this a while ago when people was hyping him up and hyping him up. I don't have another fighter that I've went through the rankings when they first hit the top 15 besides Boots. So this is not something that just automatically came out the sky. They moved and grooved, navigated. The GPS, the coordinates was on. They got him to that down spot. And he was moving while he didn't even have a fight. When he was asleep, he was moving through the rankings. To get up here and be a fighter who has the eye test down, but through further examination has proven that there was a little bit of discrepancies, just like Jahad Tucker was saying, there was some discrepancies on why him and Boots hasn't sparred. And then, you know, he sparred Boots and they were saying, oh man, you know, we seen what happened. And come on, bro. He can't even mess with Jahad Tucker when it comes down to fighting the top 5 middleweight in the division high. I mean, come on, bro. It's not even close, man. It's not even close. He don't have no Seknashvili on his freaking record. He don't have a Nicholas Flass on his record. I'm just saying, bro. Shout out to MKB in the building. What's good with it? Yeah, salute to Richardson Hitchens, man. Did his thing. Congratulations. I'm genuinely happy for Hitchens. I am. Even though he did have those moments. He fought a smart fight yesterday. He fought a smart fight. And he called out Teofimo Lopez, another unification champion. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're talking about strict to the point. Hitchens made it perfectly clear in English that he wants Teofimo Lopez. Ennis, I don't know what he be talking about at the end of the fight. I have no idea. As long as the Booth said Chukasgan wasn't going to do anything different in the second fight, I thought that was a bad approach for that contest. I absolutely agree. I said the same thing. I say you put it out there that you know what I'm saying, he wasn't going to do anything. You pretty much giving the game plan away. Oh, he's not going to do anything different. That tells me another separation between, you know, you and Crawford. You want to fight Crawford so bad. You want that fight so freaking bad, bro. You want it so bad knowing you can't beat him. But you got to understand, you're not only fighting Crawford, you're fighting his team. Your team can't fuck with the mad scientist. Your team can't mess with the mad scientist, bro. Crawford listens to his freaking corner. You have all these fighters out here losing and having poor performance, and they say, oh, I want to listen to my corner. I want to listen to my corner. Y'all up here giving out game plans, do film study and everything. Y'all just going in there like, oh, man, we're going to go get him up out of there. He ain't going to do anything different than what he did. He going to run. And then finally open the bell. Bing. He right there in front of your face. Oh, this ain't going to last long. Ding. Second round. Oh, he's still there. Okay. Ding. Third round. Oh, God damn. Daddy, what I do? I mean, come on, bro. Come on, bro. He said, yeah, man, you need to stop making excuses, Boots. Man, I swear, he just one of the worst post-fight conferences, man, from a person that's supposed to be of high stature. It was one of the worst. I'm not gonna lie, just one of the worst that I've been around recently. Just to hear him speak as he spoke, lacking confidence. And it's not that he's lacking confidence based off a performance like Rabis Ramirez had yesterday. He quit. Even though he did get hit with some elbows, he quit. No mas. Roberto Duran all over again. Even though Roberto Duran is not Mexican. But it's no mas, man. You know what I'm saying? There's no mas. When fighters just get, I'm like, bro, you kind of was giving us that you're done, you going up to 54. But I just can't get over the parking lot interview. I just can't get over that. You know what I mean? Look, I don't know what y'all got going on over in that particular gym, but it just seems like y'all infatuated with Crawford, bro. You have a young Brian Norman Jr., young. You have a young, well, he's the only young champion in there, that's younger than everybody. And then you have Stanthionis and Barrios. Bro. Goddamn, Barrios just got off a beating. Why you ain't trying to get Eddie Hearns to line you up with Barrios? If you're trying to emulate Errol Spence, the WBC was the second one that he picked up when Sean Porter fought Danny Garcia for the vacant. That was the second title that he fought at 147. That you trying to emulate Spence, and then you turn around and you know what I'm saying? You line up Stanthionis, the WBA. I'm just saying the WBA, and then you and Norman could have a finale. If you're trying to emulate Spence's travels. It's that simple. If you're trying to follow, it just seems like y'all stuck on Crawford, bro. Like, bro, you stuck on Crawford, man. You gave the worst analogy ever by a boxer trying to prove to the people to suggest that, hey, don't feel too much some type of way about what I want to do here at 147. Because Crawford wanted to, per my Virgil Ortiz duck, Crawford wanted to face one person at 168. It's no different than me not wanting to fight Virgil Ortiz because I want to face Crawford. Oh, so you want to bring him and weight drain him. So if you're thinking about weight draining and bringing Crawford down to 147, him and Virgil is in two different places in their careers. Nobody was going to see you, fight Virgil Ortiz, who had health problems, making weight at 147. And then to think Terrence Crawford is older than Virgil Ortiz, that he would even oblige you to come back down to 47 to fight, knowing that it'll be a struggle for him. Why? Why would he just sell out his O to appease you, having his name on your resume? So once again, to dress it all up, he will move up to 154 to face Crawford. But he's undecided to move up to 54 to face Virgil Ortiz. So in so many words, y'all should understand this. He pretty much said Virgil Ortiz is low-tier opposition, y'all. And Virgil Ortiz's resume stands out better than freaking Ennis's right now with less wins. Seriously. At one point in time, Virgil had a 100% knockout ratio. Seriously, Virgil Ortiz, you consider him to be what? It's just like Crawford want to move up and face Canelo, but you didn't want to face Virgil Ortiz because you can't get up for low-tier opposition. That's why you want to face Crawford? No, brother, you blew it. You blew it with that. You blew it. Virgil's not a bum, and he's not low-tier opposition. You blew it. This situation right here is turning into one of the worst disasters, the worst implosions that we've seen in a long time. I'm serious. I hope he get it together. I hope, really seriously, I hope he get it together. But when someone is up there listening to a scenario that doesn't make any type of sense, any type of sense, to suggest that Crawford fighting Canelo is the only person he want to fight at 68. Canelo was the former undisputed champion. Crawford just moved up to 54, and he's not the unified champion Sebastian Fundora is. So that whole entire scenario that you gave was asinine, bro. Senseless. You want to fight Crawford for what he did at 47 when he's now a champion at 54? That shit is insanely delusional. Canelo was a reigning seated undisputed at 68, and you're busy waving the Crawford pom-pom, still clout chasing because of what he did at 47. He doesn't even have any more belts at 47. But that is the reason why you want to fight him at 54 when he only has one belt. Stupid. I mean, am I wrong, y'all? It is absolutely preposterous to think that those scenarios equally make sense as to why he turned down the Virgil Ortiz fight. And then he gets up there and say, I want to know what's the feeling like to snatch a title, to take a title from another fighter. You know what that's like, because it's exactly what you did with Crawford. You snatched a title from him after he went in there and earned it in front of millions in Vegas, a place that you want to be in. You want the headline in that case, but you find it difficult. And the only way that you can get a buddy pass is the clout chase Crawford. You can't even take your own flight, bro, and be the headliner. You still have time. 27 years old, you have time. You need to vacate the IBF and jump into the fire at 154. They're undisputed. We have various amount of fighters have became undisputed. And a lot of them black too. A lot of them became undisputed. Do you think that's all they're talking about right now? No. Haney moved up, faced Regis. 35 is in his review. He's already went up there and faced Regis. He's a 2-division champion, bro. He's held the WBC twice. You think Josh Taylor's still talking about what he did with Jose Ramirez? Crawford still fought undisputed, even though it was at 140. Did he stay there and defend his titles at 140 just because? You can't be trying to clout chase Crawford and not really examine how he's traveled. He move up, have a title fight with Jeff Horn, and stays up there for the amount of time, visit the division, and end up beating the so-called man of the division. What happened when he beat Spence and the rematch fell apart? They moved up to 154. So if you're going to say heart for heart, the decisions that Crawford, the fighter that you're clout chasing, he's making moves. He's shifting. He's maneuvering. There's something about that. There's something about internally. It seems like your reservoir of courage is running on fumes right now. Like it seems like you don't have the courage to move up to 54 and challenge yourself. You have 33 victories, and it seems like that is a stigma. You don't want to freaking go in there and risk that bro, with equal to greater competition. That's all I'm gonna say about Ennis, man. For now, it seems like his reservoir of courage is empty. 54 is hot right now. It's a heavy division, and in order for him to put Philly on his back, he needs to talk that talk just like he was saying when he been looking for Crawford. Now I ain't gonna lie. Now it seems like that shit might have been true. It seemed like Crawford might have been his hero. God damn it, for real. When he say, we've been watching, looking for you 2018. Okay, now it's making sense because I think Crawford in reality has been a hero of Jaron Ennis. Seriously, Crawford may have been a undeniable hero for Ennis since 2018, to the fact that he want to use a bogus ass scenario as to why Crawford is searching for Canelo, as to say this is the reason to justify him ducking Virgil Ortiz for $5 to $6 million, because he wants to fight Crawford, who is no longer at 47, and he's moved up to 54 and became a champion in another division. Look, he became champion in another division other than the IBF. You feel me? That shit is crazy. He has become a champion in another sanctioning body than the IBF. But yet he's putting it out there like it's just like Crawford want to fight Canelo. I just want to fight, I just want to fight Crawford. I want you acting like Crawford is the only equal to greater competition in 154 for you, bro. Crawford is on his way out the door. You got competition that's equal to you, that's not champions at 54. You have these individuals that are not champions that people will say they're equal to you, Boots. But y'all just don't want to take that move. You don't want to goddamn slam the door and say, you know what? Damn, we got to leave 147 behind. We got to move up to 54. I'm gonna be honest with you. The right people aren't whispering in Boots Ennis's ear. Your comfort zone is becoming detriment for you, because you're comfortable with where you at and telling people you going for undisputed like Errol Spence. You and Errol Spence ain't the same. I will tell you that right now. The star power Errol Spence had and the way he went about fights. Come on, bro. I never heard Errol Spence give an excuse post-fight saying, well, I had this, I'm not feeling this. No. I just never heard him, sit up there and kind of doubt himself. You know what I'm saying? That tough fight he had with Kell Brook, I didn't hear him making excuses to my, well, it was a tough fight with Kell Brook. I was thinking about unifying the 47, but, he just took it. He took the motherfucking belt. It took him a minute, outside ring interferences and obstacles, and then came back, had that fight, and then went on to take that, belt, and we already know what happened. So I'm just asking, politely, respectfully, Ennis, that you might want to reconsider trying to campaign at 147 for the next 2 years and struggle to make weight. And then you take that one, right? You take that one loss and you feel like your career is over. Like, I don't get it, bro. I guess it's over. Shout out to D-Block, the inevitable. D-Town in the building. What's good with it, D-Block? Great spaces the other night, man. Great spaces. Hey, y'all check out D-Block, man. This boxing talk. You know what I'm saying? He be lighting up the boxing voice and all that. Know his boxing. You know what I'm saying? Definitely check out and support D-Block, man. Real talk. Definitely check him out. Spaces is a thing, man. It'd be some great conversations over on Spaces. Great boxing talk on Space. It's much different than the YTC, in my opinion. It's much different. I ain't gonna lie. He's not taking his workout regime seriously. So MKB, you think he's not taking his workout regime seriously in between fights when he has to wait that makes him feel good to get up in the morning? He's on his own schedule and everything. I think, they bigging him up every time they see him in Philly. Well, they used to. And he's sitting up there, he carrying the 155, 160, whatever he's at. He's looking, he's feeling good. But then when it gets time for him to cut weight, I think he's struggling a bit more than what the aesthetics allow us to see with the naked eye. I just feel like he's really not being able to carry out that engine throughout 12 rounds. So now he's on as piling on the excuses. And this post-fight interview was atrocious, bro. for someone they called a phenom atrocious. They was putting you in the same conversation as Roy Jones. I ain't never heard Roy say some shit like that. Never. Roy told me nobody never had to tell me to get up and run and what I had to do. Nobody never had to get me motivated to do anything when it came to boxing. I agree. I appreciate that, D Block. Shout out to Juice in the building. He said they said Boots looked like he was on an episode of Cheetahs or Hostage. I mean, it was bad, Juice. It was bad, man. It was bad, man. An empty parking lot, man. Empty parking lot, bro. You know what I'm saying? I conducted my interview the other day, man. You know what I'm saying? He was still out there chilling. I guess he was reminiscing about what happened. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. That's all. I'm not trying to really down like he a grown ass man. I'm just trying to help him understand that, Boost, you're the only fighter I ever did a live stream on with the ranking system. I've seen this long time ago. I seen this long time ago with him. I said, what a resume, a soft, fluffed resume. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how is he going to recover with this? I didn't really believe the knockouts. I just didn't see what everybody else was seeing. And now it's all playing out right in front of us, man. And the fight that really, you know, opened our eyes just a little bit wider was the first Karen Chukasyan fight. Him spinning around and not being able to get him out. And then people look at, well, WCS, they was telling me this. You was wrong. Look what he did to Ramon Villa. I said, man, come on. A fighter that's a warlock. You're talking about a fighter that's a Terminator that just walks and walks, and you can just set up any type of punch countering combination set that you want. A fighter that's just going to keep on walking towards you over and over again and take 5 to 6 punches to land his own. A tailor-made fight. And we see what happened after that. He stopped Ramon Villa because Villa, was taking punishment. He didn't have no defense. And he just wanted to keep on walking, closing distance, and giving him present pressure and taking punishment. And they broke him down. But even with Ramon Villa, there's not too many fight fans saying that he was 50-50 going in there against Ennis. And it still took Ennis 10 rounds to get him up out of there. He goes to Avanesian. They was clowning Crawford for fighting him. He couldn't even get him up out of there. Ennis couldn't get Avanesian up out of there. And then Chukasyan come back in the picture. We all wondering like, WTF, over. Do you read? Send it, over. He goes in there and go the distance. And he said, I just can't get up for low tier opposition. So F the Philly fans that was over there supporting you, big dog. You saying you can't get up for low tier opposition when you got fans in Philly supporting you. So in all likelihood, we can assume that Jaron Ennis isn't a people's champion because the people cannot get Jaron Ennis motivated to go to the ring and stunt on competition that's not supposed to be on this level. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But I guess this is how his dreams look, bro. This is how Ennis's dreams look. Why follow in the same footsteps as Arrow? Y'all want the same demise? Like Bud Crawford, look, people. I keep trying to shut this down and shit just keep on popping up. Look, do you want the same happy ending as Errol Spence got? You're chasing Crawford, right? You're supposed to be chasing Crawford, but Ennis, do you believe Crawford's coming back down to 47? So why not vacate your title and go up there and attempt to establish a rivalry of some source by getting a fight with Crawford? Why wait? Why wait till you take a L first? If you're looking for equal to greater competition, it's at 154 easy. Y'all want to shut down Blair Cobbs that's been calling. Y'all want to act like he ain't shit, but he's calling you out. I heard Teofimo Lopez put Ennis in there and all this other shit and Crawford. Bro, we see no signs. We see no signs. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. Till next time, man, y'all hold it down. Peace.